I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 And welcome everybody to UPI. I'm Desmond Thomas, joined alongside by
Rose Carlton.
And we're very pleased to be bringing you this mixed seniors action for these 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships. We have Parched in white. They'll be running from the right to the left hand of your screen, and we will have Shweek, a rebrand of Shark Week, in dark, and they'll be running from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of your screen, and Shweek will be pulling, so they'll be starting on D. And Rose, why don't you lay the scenery, set the stage for this game?
Parfait. Mais maintenant, c'est Shweek, c'est une équipe qui vient de Québec. C'est plutôt les joueuses du Montréal avec une couple de joueurs qui visitent des invités de Toronto. Puis aussi, c'est leur troisième match de la journée. Ils ont déjà vécu deux pertes contre les deux premières équipes dans leur pool. Et Parched, c'est le deuxième match de leur journée. C'est une équipe qui vient de Kamloops. Et pour les deux équipes, c'est leur premier national.
All right.
So for both teams, it's their first nationals. Both of them want to come out to win this game to gain some movement in their pool.
And we're underway here. Emmanuel Vecchi gets us underway with the pull, and it's picked up by number 57, Jennifer Clark, who gets it right back. On the near side, little pop-up through and a fake from number 88, Corinne Giorgetti. And a long flick huck up looking for number 14, Grace McDonald, but just a little too far on that one.
So Parched right away started off with a split stack offense, which created a huge amount of space into the middle of the field.
Shweek back with the disc inside their own end zone, and Freudlander. That pass just a little bit of miscommunication there.
I think it went just a little bit too wide. There is a slight amount of breeze crossfield, and I don't know if they're just getting used to playing in front of a camera as well. It creates a little nerves for everybody.
And looking up for the first goal of the game and getting up there for Parched is Jennifer Clark. And she brings it down. The first score of the game will go to the team in white.
And I want to just note that the Shweek player who was just closing in to maybe be in a position for a D, I really appreciate, I think it was number 10, Quentin Freilander, who backed off. He might have had a bid on it, but if he did, it's very likely that he could have caused an injury. It's an important aspect of Ultimate is to play with spirit, a lot of respect between players. I saw the two players afterwards shake hands and say, yeah, I was there, but I was being really careful. I hope I didn't make you afraid. So I appreciate the spirit that the teams are starting with right from the start. That's 100% one of the best things about this sport that we all enjoy. And if you're not enjoying it, and by enjoying it I mean playing it yourself, you know what? We hope that these games that we're live streaming and giving you a chance to take in might encourage you to pick up the sport, because it's never too late, and it's just a whole whack of fun for people of all ages. Are you a player yourself? I am. I play here in Ottawa. I played throughout high school. Nice. At Nepean High School. Beautiful pull. So Shweek, their turn to respond. It's on the far side with number 4, Belanger Coury, and she sends it up through the middle, taken down by Drapeau. A fake huck from Stupnicki. And Kaneko surveying the scene. Good D there from Etchart. But they get it around. Up inside the corner, number 66, Beniak. Swung back to the middle. And a beautiful put, but just a little bit too far. I think once they got to about half field, Shweek had a really nice movement back and forth. Parched was trying to poach in the lane, and Shweek took advantage by swinging to the far side. One thing that they might want to, I noticed at the very beginning, is that it was a little stagnant on the start. So I suspect they're going to work on that as the game goes on. Long pull from Sinclair, or a huck, I should say, as two players go up for it, and the D from Stefan Beniak. Back underway on the far sideline now. Stupnicki with the disc. Forehand flick up the sideline to Wing Lee. And Lee, a little floater. And Parched is able to knock it down, but there's a call on the play. I think there's a call, whether or not it was a strip or a foul. I haven't seen any hand signals yet, so I'm just waiting to see. The observers are stepping in to maybe find out what's going on. Hopefully they'll give us some hand signals and we'll find out. But I think the Shweek player believes that the Parched player was coming through and made a bid that got in his way to be able to catch the disc. Whether it's physical, I don't know yet. That was number 89, Mavity, who might have been coming in at a bit of a blind side for the Shweek player who thought that they had a play on the disc. And for sure, I had no vision on that. I don't know if you did. Well, there's definitely a size mismatch as well. A little bit. Which just a tiny little bit, which may have also caused the foul call. One of the things, and I see the observers stepping in right now, if the conversation goes beyond sort of like 30, 45 seconds, ideally it's a good moment to just say, okay, we're going to agree to disagree, back to throw or start again. And I believe that's what both the observers are doing right now, is like, have you come to a conclusion? Have you come to a decision? Time to move on. Otherwise, you can get stuck with too many sort of dead spots in the game, and it's no fun for us watching it. No, but you definitely know how to fill the time and educate all of us and the viewers about what's happening, because I've been here for quite a few of the days, but so you're here watching the juniors. I was here watching the juniors. I was doing the camera for the juniors and a couple interviews. Fantastic. Nice put over the top by
Lawfer. And he gets it back, playing pitch and catch with Sinclair. But a travel is getting called by Stupnicki on Shweek.
Yeah.
So yes, I was here with the juniors, but still not very familiar with having observers at games.
It changes things. I was also here with the juniors coaching, and our team had the first time they ever had an experience with observers, so it was an interesting experience to talk to juniors about what to expect.
And that connection from Sinclair to Tiffany Lau is perhaps getting contested, but no. It's a point for Shweek, for Parched.
This is one of the points that I'll just make in terms of having observers. When the observers are here, they make active line calls, meaning it's up to them to call whether or not the disc is in or out, either on the field proper or even in the end zones. So when there's a score, there's the rule is that you don't rush the field to celebrate until the observers indicate that it's actually a goal. So there was a little discussion there. I don't know what they were discussing, but all the you could see everybody just waiting, and then celebration.
Yes.
Really hard to enforce that with a group of young kids who just want to be
100%.
explosively happy all the time.
When covering the juniors, that I didn't see too many violations of that.
That's great.
The juniors were doing a good job, and in the last game here, I was noticing that the players and the seniors even would get very excited, but sprint up the sideline, not onto the field, sprint up the sideline following the play, and then when the signal came from the observers, would rush onto the field.
So much fun.
So Shweek will receive the pull, and maybe a chance for them to bring this game back within one. It was Ovstas on the pull, and a roller is collected. Number 36, Jacquemont. 64, Vino.
Just an unfortunate throw, a little behind him. Those are hard to catch.
Here's Shepard. Good patience, gets it to Etchart. Little shimmy shake, and he finds the sideline play to Ovstas, and an outside input, and climbing the ladder. And Shweek has 3 on the board, and I keep mixing it up. It's Parched in white. Parched has 3 on the board. And we'll get that number for you in just a second. And it's Farouk Zaba, number 10, who was able to climb up there and pull that disc down with his left hand.
It's a little bit of a broken defense there. I think the Shweek player stepped in to poach in the lane just as Zarba who went long, and you could see that there's a female matching player who was trying to get up there. Good height difference there.
Yes.
I don't know if she had a chance, but it's again one of those things in Ultimate. Don't give up. You never know. No. Even just your presence could force some insecurity and a fumbled disc. So is that right now? We've got Parched with 3 and Shweek yet to get on the board.
Yeah, Shweek no score. So a couple of breaks for Parched.
Yeah. Right now, Shweek is moving it up the field. Right now, what I'm seeing is a few sort of individual execution errors. It's not that they're not moving the disc; they just haven't managed yet to finish.
Campbell over to Yankee, and Yankee back to Campbell, and once again, Yankee. Yankee into the backfield for Stupnicki. But a halt in play, and a discussion going on between Farouk Zaba and a couple players on Shweek.
Yeah, I have no idea. I wish I could give you an interpretation, but I'm not clear.
I saw very small biceps in the air, which
so
it may have been a pick.
Possibly been a pick, yeah. Small biceps. Is that an insult?
No.
Just not quite convincing.
I'm picking up a little bit from what Clay was talking about in previous broadcasts.
So yeah, a pick call is sort of like show your biceps type of hand signal. Nice save.
Beautiful save there from Chan. And he plays it back. And around from Campbell over to Yankee. Back to Campbell. Campbell through the middle, laid off to Yankee. Yankee well guarded, and a little backhand over the top floats, but
yeah, you'll see that Campbell is one of their primary handlers, and you'll see that she's touching the disc almost every second pass.
Sinclair across, and here's DeFay. DeFay back to Sinclair.
And a big poach on their dump.
And that throw, maybe a fingertip on it from Drapeau, because there wasn't much height on that backhand.
It was either just a slipped disc, or as you say, maybe Drapeau was able to get just a little slight hand on it to change the direction. And I believe we're at a timeout right now. I think Shweek is recognizing we've been moving the disc. We've had a couple turns. Now it's time to take advantage of catching your breath. This is a point they need to get back into the game.
And back into a game that's very important for them as well. They need this game to be able to advance in their pool. This is their third game. They haven't won any of their previous two. So this game is a big chance for them to reignite this Nationals campaign.
Yeah, and it's hot.
It's talking
really
about being
hot.
ignited. It's
so taking a timeout at this point is a good moment. Just get everybody to breathe, get everybody to get some water, reorganize their offense. I'm curious to see what they come out with. One of the things I've noticed with them is that they tend to get drawn into that open lane, which makes cuts really difficult. So it's hard to throw to a player when there's a lot of people around. So I'm curious to see what they've got. The stack set up in the middle, two handlers back. And it's nice in the middle. I know Campbell has an ability to break, so if there's a dump to Campbell, I suspect she's going to throw it to the break side.
So the force is home, and Friedendler gets it around.
Nice defense.
Pardon me, that was Stopnicki.
It was a nice defense to stop that first option around, and just an unfortunate drop, but the cut was great and the choice was great.
DeFay, back to Clark. Little pitch and catch there with Sinclair, and a great D by number 88, Moy. On Shweek, giving her team a chance to look upfield once again. Campbell going long, but that just underthrown, and number 14, Grace McDonald, was able to get up there and bring it down for Parched, and they have it back in the midfield. A long flick going up, looking for Farouk Zaba. He got a finger to it, but he wasn't able to reel it in, as he had a couple of Shweek players all over him. Campbell plays it up.
Beautiful wide open cut.
Bélanger Coury. A hard angle to grab, but Shweek makes it work as they move up the field. Drapeau. And that flick, that might have been
a sweaty
factor.
hand.
Yeah.
That might just been a sweaty hand throw. Sounds disgusting when I say that, but I think it might have been.
If folks know, playing in 30-degree weather, it's bound to get a little bit slippery.
And for example, you see Zaba wearing gloves. A lot of players, even though when it's not, often we wear gloves when it's raining or when it's cold, but you'll see that some players, even when it's 30-something degree heat, they'll wear these gloves just because of exactly what we just saw, those slippery passes and catches.
So that might force small adjustments from players and just the way they grip the disc.
You're right.
Or if they want to throw on some gloves. But Parched has it in the midfield. And Giorgetti, that gets played up to DeFay. Pop back to Sinclair and around to the far side. There's Leslie.
Parched doing a nice job of using the full width of the field.
They're not afraid to use their handlers and swing at any chance they have.
Right.
Is to keep that swing alive.
Oh, I would have liked to see that
Sinclair does
swing.
it there. Yeah, that was the one hesitation. But Sinclair puts it up. And the second effort is knocked down by Jeremy Chan.
See, if he'd listened to me and done the swing, that probably would have been a score.
You know what? They should have us in their ears down there. It would be very helpful, I think.
So much easier to see from up here compared to when you're actually on the field.
100%. Shweek will start on their goal line, and it's turned over as Yankee wasn't quite able to get one hand to grip that disc. Parched. Through the middle, nice find to DeFay, and there is number 6.
Yeah.
Or pardon me, number 10, Farouk Zaba.
Campbell took an option there to try and poach in the lane to stop the first throw. And the Parched player, I didn't see who threw it, unfortunately, had a really nice ability to see who was open, take that space in the middle of the field, and to an uncovered player.
So it's 4-0 now for Parched. That was a long point.
It was a long point,
they were
but
up there for a while.
Yeah, so that entire line is coming off. They deserve it. Both teams, their entire lines are coming off. They deserve it. Go get some water, relax, and see what happens on the excellent. But what I'm happy about is that this time we saw Shweek actually really move the disc well. Again, I think this is just a question of a little bit of execution, maybe some communication at times as well. But it was good to see them get more movement and more sort of intensity in their play.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to get their looks now.
Yeah.
And they'll get another one here as they'll receive the pull from Parched, and that'll land just around the brick mark. Jacquemont. Flick up through the middle, and well read there by Liam Ovstas as he was able to knock it down. Schulz plays that up to Lau, back to Schulz. A lot of bodies in the end zone right now, but Shweek can't corral that one and recover from their turnover, and Parched has 5 on the board.
Yeah. And just to add something to this game, as everybody can see, it's a mixed game. So there's an alternating pattern of four male matching and 3 female matching versus 3 female matching, 4 male matching players on the field at a time, and it alternates by 2. So there's the first point, the teams flip to see who's starting. So the first point is, for example, 4 male matching players and then 3 female matching players, and then it alternates by 2 after that. It switches and alternates by 2.
It's the ABBA rule, or ABBA.
Exactly.
If there's any ABBA fans in the house.
And whichever gender matching has 4 players on the field, they are the ones responsible for doing the pull.
Yes. So right now we see the ratio.
4 male matching, 3 female matching.
And it'll be Parched pulling to Shweek once again, because in ultimate, when you score, your team pulls to the other team that just got scored on, so they get to start with the disc and have their opportunity to get one back. And Shweek desperately needs one.
They do.
As they're in an 0-5 hole.
It's
a nice mid-range but floating pull. And Yankee has the disc and unfortunately grounds it, as that also might have slipped out of her grasp.
Just too much time to think about it. Unfortunately, would have liked to see some cuts moving, some sort of movement from the cutters a little sooner than that.
Here's Mavity. Dumps it to Clark, and
that's an exchange. One turf for another turf.
Exactly. I'm not sure if Moy maybe got a hand on it. There was good pressure.
Yeah, there was.
But Shweek now in the backfield. Here's Drapeau. Oh, nice OI backhand to Kaneko. Kensho Kaneko as the stall count goes up, but he plays the dump back to Drapeau. And now Kaneko once again.
And the big target of Beniac.
Now, the Parched players are just so fast on the mark, but Kaneko plays one deep, looking for Mathieu Drapeau, and he's able to track it down. He's got players surging to him left and right. He drops it off and gets it right back, and Shweek is on the board.
I really like that option that they decided to just, you know what, let's get it away from the dangerous area of our end zone. And he, the long throw to Drapeau. Drapeau had 2-3 steps on his defense. And Parched has been playing a lot no unders.
Yes.
Because Shweek hasn't been taking those chances. So even just doing it, even if they'd missed it, would have been a good option just to say, yeah, we're not shy to throw that up
We
there.
have these looks.
Yeah. It forces the team to adjust their defense.
And it was good patience from Drapeau when he got that disc about 5-7 feet outside of the end zone to wait for reinforcements to join him, and then a little give and go with Jeremy Chan, who was able to feed Drapeau back inside the end zone.
And I like that Chan didn't just run straight into the end zone instead of taking, go as if he was running in, take a step back, take the dump pass, and then throw to Drapeau again in the end zone.
That's always the right play when you're in that position. So it's 5-1 as Shweek gets on the board, and Parched will have their chance to respond as they're going to receive the pull. A high pull as it's floating near our side, but that'll stay in and it'll be collected by Andrew Hanna. Centered that disc and played to the far side.
And a zone.
I think the first zone we've seen in this game. To the near side now, number 33, Andrew Hanna. And now kept up by Giorgetti. And a long huck. Looking up. And undefended is number 8, Duncan Scholes.
Yeah.
And it's 6-1.
Parched was very smartly right there, split the last back. The Parched player at the playing the last back position in the zone got split by 2 defenders. He had to make a choice, 2 offenders. Which one am I going to stop? So he stopped the first one who went into the end zone. Usually the right thing to do is the most dangerous. However, it's the break side. So it's a much more difficult throw to make that than it was to make the throw into the open side.
Right.
So hard to know which one to do. As a last back, you got to take the one that you think is the most dangerous right away.
And basically a losing battle, unfortunately, for that last back when you have that long huck floating.
It's kind of a heartbreaker.
It's there's not much you can do in that scenario.
I do like that Shweek decided to mix up the defense and try something different.
So Parched is feeling pretty good about their game right now.
I think so.
They've got their strategies rolling and haven't been too many turnovers to be worried about in this game.
Another nice pull.
And Kaneko gathers and lays it off for Campbell, but she's being well guarded to the far side, and good layout bid there.
Despite the trip, still managed to get it off.
From Jeremy Chan back to Campbell. Pump fakes the backhand and sails the flick high up into the air, going back for it. Kaneko's up there, he goes, and so does Bélanger-Coury, but neither of them could come down with the disc.
However, there is a foul call on the play. Bélanger-Coury looks like she took a second to just think about it. Said, did I actually have that? Did I actually have a bid on it? Was there contact? And I think she's decided that yes, there was. And you can see the observer is in there just to sort of listen to what's happening in the conversation. The observer doesn't make a call until the players themselves say, we don't know, and we'd like you to tell us your opinion. If an observer does get involved to give their opinion, that opinion stands.
Yes.
I love all the acting out.
Yes. Our friend Clay here loves the actions. It makes it a lot easier.
So it looks like they have gone to the observer for a discussion.
And the observer as well, very animated. It's
Yeah.
good television. Could watch
great
it all
miming.
day long.
So the decision from it looks like the players went to the observer. The observer has said, yes, it is a foul. She's handing the disc back to Emmanuel, to Curry.
Yes, number 4.
Number 4. And her job now is to tap the disc into the end zone and walk it back to the end zone line. If the foul happens in the end zone, it's not an automatic point. The person who was fouled brings it to the end zone line to start the play again.
So Belanger Curry lays that off for Campbell, and Curry gathers that in and gets Shweek's second point of the game.
Again, that sort of give and go movement. Both teams now have been using
Yes.
that give and go movement near the end zone. It works.
It really does.
Yeah, it's really hard to, when you have a mark, when you've put a mark on, to then follow the person who's cutting.
Yes.
If that person is, so as a defender, you've got to be on your toes and ready to move immediately.
Exactly. That play, when you lay it off and then make the run yourself, forces the defenders to think a lot more than if you just book it yourself to the end zone.
Yeah.
Then they can just cover the open side and trust the mark.
Totally agree. So if you were Parched, would you be worried at this point that maybe there's a comeback happening?
Parched is at 6 points
to 2
right now. 6 points to 2. I think 6 points to 2. I wouldn't be worried at this point if I'm Parched. It's ultimate Frisbee. The game goes up to 15. You're bound to get scored on a little bit. But for them, I think this is a point where they're going to say, okay, that's it. They've had their 2 points on us, but I think we're going to lock it down from here on in. And we're definitely going to try to get to half without getting scored on anymore. As a long huck is put up. And it's brought down nicely by Duncan Scholes for the 7th point for Parched in this game.
Yeah.
That was a great put.
It was a great put, and I think that was Freilander again, who he was behind. He definitely had to catch up. He'd managed to catch up. There was a bit of a float, and just beaten in the air.
Those one-on-one battles, it's anybody's guess there, and that's where your athleticism and I mean, if you've been training plyometrics, perhaps your jumping drills and stuff like that.
But 2 tall guys, so it wasn't a height differential there. I think unfortunately for Freilander, he was just a bit 1 or 2 steps behind to start off with. But because of that, the throw and the timing of the throw was perfect.
And I believe that throw came from David Stelk, who's had a lot of those puts in today's game, and he seems to execute them with ease.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, and maybe Shweek could learn from that point as well. Is that Parched is not at all shy to put up those longs, so maybe start playing with the last back. Pay attention that don't let anyone behind you. We sometimes forget that ultimate. When we're playing really tight man sort of defense, person defense, then we forget that, I'm still part of a team. I can call I can call a switch.
Yes.
Start with a last back. You know that Parched likes these longs. Force them under. Force them to make more throws. The long's been working for them. They've got to find a way to stop it.
And that's when they went to zone. They were trying to force a few more throws,
I
but
think you're right.
They got broken through pretty easily because Parched is very confident with their handlers. They're able to swing it. Maybe try to bring back that zone if you're Shweek. Maybe in the second half, try to get that reorganized, regrouped, or try to throw up a straight up force.
Exactly.
Try to take away the big flick huck.
Exactly. And even if it's for the first 3-4 stalls, a flat mark, stop those hucks, and then move into your into the force that you've chosen.
Nevertheless, Parched will try to come up with a break point here to take half. The score right now is 7-2 in favor of the team in white, running from the left to the right hand of your screen. And Shweek will receive. That pull coming from number 36, Ben Sinclair, and it floats right to the line where Kensho Kaneko will gather it up. A nice cut there from Campbell. Now she pump fakes the backhand. Campbell's a lefty.
And this time it's Parched coming in with sort of like a junky defense.
It looked like a little bit of a zone at the start.
Yeah, and it still is. If you see at the back, there's a male matching player at the very back with 2 women.
But no zone on the mark, on the handler.
You're right.
Swung to the far side, and it's Drapeau with the disc, and he plays it inside for Stop Nicky. Back to the far sideline, played back for Campbell, and running to the near side is Beniak. Lays it off into the middle for Stop Nicky. Gets it to Drapeau, plays it back for Campbell. Campbell gets that just across for Kencho Kaneko. He picks it up. Big height mismatch on that defensive matchup. But Kaneko gets it back across for Drapeau. Kaneko, nice upline slash. And Kaneko left-handed, plays it in for Campbell. And Shweek has 3 in this game.
So one of the things that Parched talked about before the game was that they like to play a kind of poachy defense. That one I think was actually a set zone, kind of a junk zone type of thing. But you'll often see them poaching to force the opposition to look break or to make a difficult throw or to get stuck with the disc in their hands, ideally. But this time, there was a really nice break force throw from Campbell to Beniak that got it all the way over to the break side, and after that, Shweek was on the move. And then the movement between the three handlers, there was Drapeau, Campbell, and number 11, I think.
Oh, Kaneko.
Kaneko. That movement between the 3 of them, they did a great movement to keep that the disc never stopping in their hands for more than about 2 or 3 stalls.
Yes.
The rest of the team did a good job of leaving the space for them instead of crowding the lanes. And it just became more of a timing and a race between players. Kaneko's got some speed.
Yes, he definitely does. He was talked about in the little survey that was put out as one of the players to watch for Shweek. And it was also said that he handles a lot with Campbell. So they were bang on in that survey when they filled it out. Didn't lie. And they also spoke about his dribbling style, which was on full display in that last point. So full marks to Shweek in that survey they filled out. They know their team very well. So back underway. Parched with the disc. That flick up through the middle. Here is Giorgetti, pardon me. Hannah, but we have an injury on the field. Looks like an ankle.
Is that Schultz?
Yeah, number 8 on Parched.
Yeah. I don't think there was contact. It looks like a roll.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping he gets back up and is able to keep playing. If the injury had occurred with no contact with the opposing team, he has no choice but to take a sub. If the injury occurred because there was contact, he can choose to stay. Because he's choosing to stay, it looks like the injury happened as a result of some contact.
You know, it's very easy in Ultimate. There's so many feet and cleats flying around everywhere. It's very easy to clip the back of somebody's foot or in worst cases, crush or step on somebody's toes.
Absolutely, and you'll see that they're we do make foul calls. They're not it's not intentional physicality most of the time.
Hannah plays that up to Scholes, who's pivoting well. Scholes, little IO flick. And here's Ovstas. Ovstas guarded well. But he plays that up. Oh. And unfortunately, the Parched player near the back side of that end zone couldn't quite climb up and pull that down.
Yeah, and I think there is a call on that of a foul. As the Parched player, I think again it was Scholes.
Was that Scholes there? He's jumping well.
Yeah. So when he jumped, the Shweek player just unfortunately came in and clipped him in the legs, I think, and didn't give him an opportunity. Now, had the disc already gone by? Did he actually have a play on the disc? I think that's part of the conversation that's happening right now. And it looks like the call has been withdrawn, and the disc is in Shweek's possession.
All right, so Shweek trying to draw out the time that will take to half as they want to try to get a few more points on the board. Nice cut in there from number 22, Charles Graton. But that disc, not quite enough mustard on it to connect.
Shweek's stack was extended so far back, the distance she had to run to be able to get in there for that cut is probably not ideal.
Parched back in possession. Low flick. And here's Schulz. Schulz faking the forehand and plays a bladey forehand right to the top of the end zone where it's brought down. And Shweek will be forced off the pitch.
Yeah. That's an example of Shweek there themselves taking advantage of a poachy defense, and the Parched player recognizing that who caught it?
So Parched will take half by a score of 8-3. And coming up in just a few moments, we'll have Ben Laidlaw, who hasn't been playing, but he's a member of the Parched team, coming in and answering a couple of questions about his team. And stick around for that, folks.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to this Ultimate Canada live stream. I'm Desmond Thomas here with number 15 on Parched, Ben Laidlaw. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to play in this game. We were speaking about this before, a little ACL surgery happening with you.
Yeah, I got cleared to play about a month ago, but I've been off on vacation, so done some hiking, but not any training, so I'm not fully at 100% yet.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll get in for a couple points throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
We were seeing Parched come down a few times in a bit of a hybrid version of a zone, where they had one marking on the disc, but a few more poaching in the neutral areas of the field. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your zone?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an FS style zone where we've got Patrick Mavety usually in the midfield. He's big and tall and rangy, and he can eat up a ton of space.
Mm-hmm.
We've got lots of experience and athleticism to make good reads about where that throw is going and be able to pick off passes as they happen. So if we're pressuring the handlers really hard with a man-style defense and then playing zone downfield, we think it lends really well to what our team can do.
And moving into a bit of the broader picture, can you tell us a little bit about the history of this team and how you came to be at this Nationals Championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a weird history for Parched because this is our first year that we've done the competitive circuit and gone to regionals and nationals. The team's been around for 12 or 13 years in Kamloops and has toured kind of like the interior recreational scene a lot. We play lots of tournaments in Kamloops and Kelowna, Nelson, and get to the occasional one down in Vancouver. But it's always kind of been as a rec team until about 3 years ago. And in the last couple years, we've had, thankfully, like since COVID, a few people moving to town that want to take it seriously. We have a good group of Kamloops locals that join them that had always kind of wanted to take it seriously, but that hadn't had the support and infrastructure for that. And then we've started our Helios Juniors program too, which has brought a huge influx of young players into our program, and we're excited to see that continue as well. We've got some awesome young kids coming in the next few years, and they're just going to keep making this team better and better.
Well, perfect. We're very excited to see what the future of your program will give to us and everybody in the BC area for Ultimate. And just want to say good luck in this and the rest of the tournament for your program.
Well, thank you very much. Excited to be here.
Perfect. And welcome back, everybody, to this Ultimate Canada live stream here live from Ultimate Parks Incorporated in Ottawa, Ontario. This game, part of the Mixed Seniors Nationals Division. And we have Shweek in dark. They'll be running from the right-hand side to the left-hand side of your screen, and Parched in white on the left. And why don't you give us a quick rundown, Rose, of that first half?
Sure. I think it's been a relatively uneven first half, but we did see Shweek coming back during the second part of the first half, and I'm hoping to see Shweek continue that kind of movement and make this give Parched a run for their money. Shweek, as a newer team, you can see that they're still figuring out, and I know they've been playing together for the last this summer season. I'd like them to start taking some of their first options quicker. A collision on the field.
Yeah,
sorry, stop my summary.
Yeah.
It looks like both just a little checking the body parts, make sure everything's all in place. But as she's doing that, I'll just go back. So I think for Shweek, I'd like them to start using everyone on the team. And they do best when they're using their break side and flowing up the field that way. I'd like to mix it up a little bit more, some focusing on the in cuts, but also taking advantage of their long options. As far as Parched, what they're doing is working. So it's hard to say try something new, but this is a good opportunity for them to learn who connects well on the field for their upcoming games, what plays are working for them, play around with some defense. You know, they right now have space to work with. So if they want to practice we saw that zone look once during the first half. Maybe try it again. See how it works for them. Yeah. Same thing with offenses. Try something new.
Yeah, pretty much the same for Parched. Just keep doing what you're doing, but take this opportunity to practice a few new things, as that's a cross-field backhand to the near side. Oh, nice fake there by Chan. Laid up there to Campbell.
Directing traffic.
Campbell plays it in for Drapeau. Drapeau. Little IO flick. And he finds an option in the end zone. Little shooter guns right there, and it's Jeremy Chan getting the 4th point for Shweek.
And that was I had just said I'd like to see Parched. I would, if I were coaching Parched or one of the captains on Parched, I would suggest let's try something new. They did. That was a 3-person cup zone, like a pretty traditional. Back in the 90s, we might have seen that style of zone, but it still works. So where you saw them try putting that on. Maybe if you want to try that again, they want to make sure they cover last back a little bit better. Shweek took advantage of throwing over everybody to break that mark, or to break the whole force for the field, and it worked.
So Shweek starting to build up a little bit of their play. They started this game a bit on the back foot, I think you could say, but they've been taking their chances as the game's gone on and have started the second half in a really positive way, and I hope that is able to drive them.
We see two teams quite different. We see Parched is quite a disciplined team in terms of their offensive movement. Shweek is creative. I don't think they're ready yet to get to discipline.
Well, it makes for exciting ultimate frisbee, as that's just kept up by Parched and McCoverty. And here's Scholes. Scholes, little inside backhand to McCarty, and McCarty back to Scholes. And now Parched has 9 on the board.
Yeah, I think that was a break throw into the corner, and I think right there Freilander was trying to sort of stop anything directly in front of him, which gave, I think it was, who threw it? Scholes? Or Scholes caught it?
Scholes caught that point there.
The throw to Scholes was, he made like a quick in cut right back out to the sideline. It's money.
Yes.
Smart move. Smart play. Notice what's available and what his handler had available to him.
Yeah, but as you're talking about before, as this point got underway, it's very disciplined offense from Parched. They know what the right maneuvers are when they're either stuck in the corner there or right on the end zone line.
They're very good about creating space in the middle of the field for cuts to come in. They're not blocking that space.
And for their first outing at Nationals, this is
pretty good.
From what I've seen so far, this is the only chance I've got to see Parched play, but it's been a great performance from them. So Parched will get us back underway, pulling to Shweek.
I never know how players play with that kind of hat.
Oh, there's that little that
floppy hat
band around the chin keeps that secured. Campbell playing that up, looking for Belanger Coury, but that's swatted down by the man in the floppy hat, Sinclair. Oh, big layout attempt on the D from Jeremy Chan, but they get the D anyways. Belanger, pardon me. Number 7 is Drapeau.
And that's a foul call that's not contested. Exactly what you just talked about, a bunch of feet all in the same place. And it looks like that's a step on your feet foul, and the disc is staying with Shweek.
So Mathieu Drapeau, when all is said and done, perhaps not, will be the one starting with the disc.
Yeah. So there is a discussion with the observer. Now it's making me wonder if they're saying that it was caught, like that he was fumbling and he managed to maintain possession once he was beyond the, outside the line and maybe stepped out. Looks like they've gone to the observer for a ruling. It's calling a foul.
So it's a...
Saying that what I suspect happened was that there was a call that he went out and might have been a push-out foul. It would have been caught inside if there hadn't been contact. It's my guess.
Nonetheless, Campbell gets that swung over to Bélanger-Coury, but a pick is called. That pick called by number 66. Beniak.
Two tall men. That's quite a matchup to look at, to watch.
I believe he's up against Patrick Mavety. Campbell. Nice find there. Here's Kaneko. Kaneko, a little shimmy shake. Off to Campbell. Campbell, left hand into the end zone. And it's caught by Beniak. And Shweek has 5 on the board.
They're coming back stronger this half. I don't know what they talked about in their halftime huddle, but it seems to have brought some life into them.
No, it's true. I wish halftime was a little bit longer. We could get both teams in for a little interview, know what strategies they're going to go into the second half.
It's true.
Trying to work on, but.
So, Parched, it's one of those, sometimes playing Ultimate, when you know you're up and you're coming back after half and you know you're up by quite a bit, and it's like not to get sort of lackadaisical and not to come back sort of without the energy and the intensity that you started the game. I was coaching this last weekend with my juniors, and one of the things that that we started teaching them right at the beginning of the season, and we heard our juniors repeating it over and over again. Anyone would ask, what's the score? 0-0. It's always 0-0.
100%. 0-0 has got to be the mentality for Shweek right now.
Yeah, and Parched, I would say.
100%, yeah.
Parched should not be letting Shweek back into this game.
No, that's very true. They've let it slip away a little bit. And for all that big point differential that they worked for in the first half is starting to evaporate just a little bit.
Still, Parched is still up by 4. They should still be very comfortable, but not too comfortable.
As that pull from Shweek goes out.
It does, so at the brick mark. And again, Shweek setting up. They were setting up with their sort of split, half horizontal stack. And given that it's a zone there, you can see they're bringing their handlers back, setting up in a nice wide position.
So Clark lays that off to the sideline now. It's played back inside for McCarty. Stelk through the middle now. Giorgetti to a leaping Scholes, who stops and surveys the scene for a moment. A lot of bodies in the end zone right now. More dark shirts than white shirts, as that is played up and caught by Korean Giorgetti for Parched, and their 10th point of this matchup. And the score now is 10-5.
It's a nice matchup between, we saw Vecchi and Giorgetti. They're both intense players, they're both runners, and it was a really nice grab with Vecchi right on her back.
Yes.
And it was to the break force side, so there wasn't much more that Vecchi could have done to try to keep up with it, and for Giorgetti to continue that cut just to the very end and to have faith that that player might take a chance. And even if she doesn't, she's cleared space into the open side for somebody else to make a cut.
100%. So now the point differential 5 in this game, and there is a lot of time left, because I believe this game should end at 3:10, so we have half an hour.
It's time.
A lot of time for Shweek to keep doing what they're doing, and they'll be coming back down on offense right now.
Yeah, and this is sort of like the usual suspects for their offensive line. Missing Campbell, but we've got Yankee, Bélanger-Coury, Beniak. I see Kaneko. Stupnicki as well.
They might be looking for deep looks right now, as that pull landed around half. As Kaneko picks it up, trying to get some handler movement there, but that disc was down, I believe.
We had our back to him. Did he have his hand under it before it hit the ground? we can't say, but I see again the observers stepping in to listen in. What they were doing here is you'll notice that there were 3 people close to the disc right now playing an ISO, pretty old school German play. So ISO between the 3, isolation play between the 3 handlers, 1 person in the middle like a valve, and the other 3 back in the end zone, making you 3 are the ones to score, but stay out of the play until it hits the valve in the middle.
And then it's your turn.
And then it's your turn to make a cut. But until then, just keep your defenders out of the play.
Long flick huck, looking for Zaba. But that sails just too far and ahead of him, and Shweek will be able to look back the other way and try to set up their offense once again. And their offensive looks have been good, but there's just been a slight lack in execution. Those passes haven't always been what the players on Shweek have wanted them to be.
Yeah, and we see Shweek starting again with this sort of ISO movement.
Oh!
And a great hand block by...
That's Amanda Shepard, who got her left hand on that. Nearly a Callahan if she was able to close her fingers.
that would have been remarkable.
Lawfer plays it out.
With a nice patience.
Shepard back to Lawfer. Lawfer, bullseye for the 11th point of the game, and it's confirmed by the observer as everybody was waiting to step onto the field. And that point scored by number 5, Pamela McClelland. Her first point of the game, and the 11th point for Parched.
Yeah.
And there's that patience once again on the end zone line.
Yeah.
You can't be scored on if the disc is in your possession. So there's no rush for the Parched players to try to force any throws. They're happy to keep swinging within their handlers, and then they found that opening and they took their shot.
And again, that was an example of Parched being quite disciplined. They had Shepard directly behind the thrower, which is not always the easiest place for a dump to go, but she was well back, so there was space to throw it in either side for her. And the rest, a nice straight stack in front of the thrower, and 1 cut at the time. But what I liked was they had cuts going both sides, break side and open side. So the options were, like, you always had 2, perhaps 3 options, including the dump. So
Shweek and a high pull will float and land just around the brick mark. So Shweek making up already a little bit of room as they try to move up the field. Number 21, Lindsay Chong, plays that back, and here's Jacquemont. Jacquemont back across to Vecchi. Vecchi swings and finds Chong in a bit of a hole, and that pass, a good bid.
just a little bit of wind behind that, just enough to push that out of reach.
Miriam Vino, a good attempt to keep that play alive, but Parched now will come back on the attack. On the far side, Sinclair plays it up the line to DeFay. DeFay, pop pass back to Sinclair. On the sideline, a flick up to Giorgetti. Giorgetti back up to Sinclair. Great movement up the sideline as Sinclair stops, waits, and plays a low back forehand flick, but not able to be corralled by Giorgetti. Maybe some contact, and yeah, foul is the hand signal right now.
Yeah, it's a foul, no contest from Grenier-Marcil. It's one of those things that happens with the upline cuts, and you try to poach into the lane. It's a really tough one to not cause a foul.
Yes, there's almost no room to work with there.
Yeah.
That's a great pass.
That's Steven, I think, who threw that. A beautiful I.O. zinger into the middle of the field.
And now Parched has 12.
Yeah, now I think Parched can sort of take, like, okay, I'm not going to say breathe easy because that's commentator curse territory. But, you know, use this opportunity to practice.
And for Shweek now, with the game a little bit out of reach, they can
Also use it to practice.
they can 100% also use it to practice.
Get everybody in this game. Get everybody touching the disc. Figure out what plays are working for them. Try to work out some of the kinks because this is the first day of the tournament. This is their third game of the tournament. They've got lots ahead of them. These are the opportunities that they need to take to gel as a team, find which combinations work, which plays work. The same thing with Parched. Like, pay attention to what's working, but because they've got sort of some things working quite smoothly for them, I would tell them to take some more chances with something a little different.
Yeah.
Not to say brand new, just
No.
a bit
Maybe
less practiced.
a few tweaks that they may need to use in games coming up.
Exactly.
So the pull is up, and Shweek will gather it up. Drapeau playing pitch and catch
And
with
again,
Campbell.
with this ISO valve type of play. You see
Drapeau.
Beniak as a valve. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
pretty good target as a valve.
He's got a height mismatch on just about everybody on the field right now. Campbell trying to swing it long, and to our near side going up is Chan, and he brings it down.
Beautifully read.
Beniak pops it off to Campbell. Campbell back for Stopnicki. Beniak fakes the hammer, leaves it for Campbell. Stopnicki. Forehand flick. OY looking for Beniak, and he climbs the ladder, but didn't have to too much as the giant of a man was able to reel it in. And Shweek has 6 points in this game.
I think they should be really happy with that. That's the third time they've tried this play, and this time it worked. And having Chan or Beniak, Chan was one of the people who were sort of like meant to go hang out in the back. You're there for when the valve gets the disc. He came in a couple of times, like the throw over from Campbell, I think was meant for Beniak. Chan came in, read it beautifully,
Yes.
and then he scooted right back to where he was supposed to be. It worked for it. It looks a little sort of confusing, but their handler movement is actually one of their strengths. And
on that play, they showed their composure, and they showed their resilience to having things not quite go the way they wanted to at the beginning, but were able to show their ability to adapt and get back to the play the way they wanted to play that point.
And Parched was playing a lot of really tight man coverage on those handlers. It's hard to stop an ISO handler movement that's just constant movement. Can you do some switches here and there to add a little bit more pressure on the offense? Have they played against that before? To know how to stop that kind of movement. You know, that's something that they can use as what do we do in these kind of plays.
And that pull from Friedendler lands out of bounds, and Amanda Shepard will take it to the brick mark. Shepard has Andrew Hanna on her right and David Stelk on her left as the handlers for this offensive point for Parched. And Stelk has it. Fakes the backhand, now plays a shorter one to Giorgetti. Giorgetti, backhand inside to Scholes, and Scholes, little bladey OI flick, but just slips out of the hands of Liam Ovstas.
Interesting. Parched was doing a similar style of play, very stretched out play as what Shweek had been doing.
Pick called there by David Stelk.
Pretty solid call.
Yeah.
Textbook pick.
Viewers have been reminded of this a couple times, but if this is the first time joining us, picks, unlike in basketball, are very illegal in Ultimate Frisbee, even if it's a pick from your own teammate. A long bomb sent up into the air by Friedendler, looking for
anyone
to come up with it, but Parched is able to bring it down. That was Scholes, and Scholes sends his own shot into the end zone, and McDonald brings that down. Grace McDonald gets Parched 13 points in this game.
Both of those throws were a little floaty, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
But that second one, I think the target was a smart target, just due to height mismatch. The first one, that was a tough target and a little bit early for the cut that was going, like the throw was going a bit too long for the cutter that they were actually targeting on that one.
Would you call that first pass from Shweek a little hospitally as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it actually went the way he wanted it to go. It definitely sat up there longer than was intended.
We're not feeling it too much here, but if you take a look at the flags in the background, there's a good breeze that's going on right now at UPI. So that could have been causing a bit of the
I think it
floating
actually,
action.
I think you're right. I think it actually is causing some of these throws to sit up there a little longer. You see it a lot with the pulls coming from your left to the right.
So Shweek will start on offense once again, as Parched is 2 points away from taking this game. 15 points is the point cap. That pull will land
directly on the brick
right
mark.
on the brick mark. And Kaneko will pick it up for Shweek. Off to Campbell. This is their play. Campbell across to Kaneko. Kaneko in for Chan, and that's well read by number 89, Patrick Mavety.
It's a good battle between those two, Maverty and Chan.
So now Sinclair.
Floppy hat man.
Oh, yeah. A lovely flick to Leslie. There's a couple bodies collide in the end zone, but it's brought down by Patrick Mavety, and the score is awarded. So now Parched is 1 point away from taking the dub.
Yeah, I think Shweek would like to get at least one more point on them. Don't just this. I'm sure Shweek is now talking to themselves, saying this is not the last point of the game.
No.
Let's get going.
For them, the mantra now should be, we're not playing till point cap. We're playing till hard cap. We want to play as much ultimate as we can.
Yeah.
Which for teams that maybe aren't as experienced or aren't as well matched up against other teams, going into it, the goal should be let's play as much ultimate as we can. Let's get as much experience as we can in these games so that we can continue to grow and build.
And no matter how exhausted you are at the end of the day, no one's going to say, God, I wish I'd played less.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's not true. If you'd injured yourself, maybe you don't want to be on for that 1 point again. But for the most part, you kind of leave nationals thinking you don't want to leave with any regrets.
Shweek will receive once again. That pull coming from Jennifer Clark. Landing right around the brick mark once again. Nice play to get that to
nice dish.
David. Gascon leaves it off for Fredendler, looking up for David. Oh, just sailing over his outstretched hand.
You know, I think that was a wind issue and maybe a reading issue, but it's hard to, I don't know, not on the field in his position. But I think that was actually a good look.
So Parched, an opportunity for a break to seal the deal.
Oh, back on that corner.
Lafferty, as they try to work it out of that corner, as you're saying, Rose. That's put up and nicely defended and knocked down, and a great scoring opportunity now for Shweek to extend this game. Fredendler on the disc. Vertical stack, and it works out. That point reeled in by Nalini Gascon. And Shweek has 7 on the board, and they'll play and live to fight another day.
At least another point.
And you see how that just brings up the spirits on the Shweek team. They're excited, they're pumped up. They want to keep playing this game.
These guys are a fun team. They're a bunch of friends. They know each other quite well, and you can see it on their sideline. There's not, like, despite the score, you're not seeing them like with heads down, sort of disappointed. They're still cheering each other on. Parched, I see a little bit more like, let's get to business. Let's make this happen.
Shweek, as we're talking about that great spirit on the sideline, have won spirit at all of their previous tournaments this year. So Frisbee Fest, Jazz Fest, and CQU C's, they've won spirit at all of those tournaments. So they're no strangers to pumping up teammates and keeping spirits high on the sideline as they'll start this point on defense, forcing Parched back inside their own end zone. Long bomb flick. Looking up for Grace McDonald. She leaves it off for Stelk. Stelk to McDonald. Scholes, pardon me, to McDonald, and that seals the deal. And Parched will take this game by a score of 15-7.
Schultz had a really nice grab, and then just forcing Chen to make a bid and waiting for Chen to finish that bid before throwing it very simply to McDonald. Nice, smooth way to finish the game. So what do you think at the end of this game?
I think Shweek made some great adjustments. They came out in the second half and they scored far more points than they did in the first half. They beat themselves in the first half, but in that second half it was, especially in the early goings of that second half, it was much more of an even game. But the experience from Parched and their experience and depth coming from a big program, those as Helios feeds into this Parched team, that experience and depth took over, and Parched was clearly the better team in this game, and they came away with a well-earned victory today.
Yeah. And that's it for this game, but hopefully all of you will come back to watch the next game, which will start at 5:15. I believe it's Radiant versus Tempest, women's division, if I'm not mistaken. So please come back, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right.
Later today and again tomorrow.
Take care.